The IRS has reported that over 130 million Americans already received the first $1,200 stimulus check. But that's got signed about a couple weeks ago, and some people already used it on their bills, and they need help right now for future bills that are coming up. So people are asking, when is the next stimulus package coming? What's going to be included in it? Is the $2,000 per month still on the table? Is it going to get passed? Well, first you have to understand, for a stimulus bill to pass, it has to go through the Senate, the House, and the president. So all three have to be in agreement in order for a bill to pass. From my previous video, you guys already know that the president wants payroll tax cuts, capital gains tax cuts, and liability protection for businesses that open up early. Also, Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, wants to see some sort of protection for businesses that open up early. But the Democrats, on the other hand, want to see a direct payment to Americans. In fact, there is a brand new proposal from Senator Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, and Ed Markey. Harris said in a statement referring to the previous $1,200, "It's clear that wasn't nearly enough to meet the needs of the historic crisis. Bills will continue to come in every single month during the pandemic, and so should the help from the government." And Bernie Sanders added, "If we bail out large corporations, we can make sure that everyone in this country has enough income for the basic necessities of life." So in this video, I'll go over the details of this brand new proposal and also who qualifies and how much you get. Since a lot of you usually ask me in these videos, when is this going to get passed? I do want to remind you that this is only a proposal, and it does need to go through the House, the Senate, and the president in order for this to become law and for you to get these payments. So this proposal is called Monthly Economic Crisis Support Act. So just like previous bills, this does have some requirements that you have to meet for you to get this money. The first requirement is you have to be a US resident. But unlike in the previous bill, you don't need a valid social security number to qualify, because the previous bill did leave out a lot of people, especially the ones that were married to somebody that didn't have a valid social security number. So they're trying to address that in this bill. So as long as you're a US resident and you're under a certain income threshold, you're going to get the full amount. The income threshold is if you make less than $100,000 and you're single, you're going to get the full amount. If you're the head of household, you have to make less than $150,000. If you're married and filing jointly, you have to make less than $200,000 combined. So how much do you end up getting if you end up qualifying for this? You're going to get $2,000 per person for up to 3 months after the national emergency is over. So if the national emergency ends next month, you're going to get an additional $2,000 for up to 3 months. And this is also going to include $2,000 per month for each eligible dependent up to 3. So if you're a family 5, you get $2,000 for you, $2,000 for your spouse, and an additional $2,000 per 3 dependents. But you're not going to get any more if you have 4 or 5 dependents. So the maximum you can get is $10,000 per month for up to 3 months after the pandemic is over. All of these payments are retroactive from March. So if this bill ends up passing, you're going to get payments starting from March and not from when this bill gets passed. So all the additional payments that you would have received in March and April, you'd end up getting them as back pay if this bill ends up passing. One thing I really like about this bill is they did learn from the previous one, because in the previous one, there were some collection agencies that were taking the money from the people that really needed it. So some people had the $1,200 sent to them, and then the collection agencies or the banks, if you had an overdraft fee, they would take that money. There is a provision in the law that prohibits debt collectors from taking your money, which is really nice because this is a national emergency. You do end up needing that money to eat. So it's nice that the government is protecting you from these debt collectors that might otherwise take your money. So one of the questions that I get asked a lot when I make a video like this is, when is this going to get passed and when can I save this extra $2,000 per month? Well, it's very tricky right now because I said earlier that the Senate, the House, and the president have to agree on this, because it has to get passed by the Senate, and then it goes to the House to get passed by them, and then the president signs off or he has the ability to veto it so it goes back to them. Right now, the economic advisor for the White House is saying, we're in a lot of conversations right now. We've kind of paused as far as formal negotiations go. Let's have a look at what the latest round produces. You need a month or so to evaluate that. So the White House is saying that they want to see what impact the previous $1,200 has on the economy. They're saying they need up to a month for them to evaluate this. So it is more of a waiting game right now. There's not going to be much happening. Plus, the Senate is in session. They're back in DC, but the House is still not back. They're expected to be back on May 11th. So I do expect to see more news starting May 11th, and we might see more traction for this, or we might see it going towards a different direction, but we will have to wait until next week to see what the final product might look like. I will keep you guys updated for the next stimulus package and what's being discussed and what's actually going to end up passing. So if you guys are new to this channel and you haven't subscribed, you can do that right over here. And if you found this video helpful, you can support this channel by hitting that like button on this video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time.